think some of the challenges that in my journey I've faced being, you know, an artist of color, but not also an independent artist and trying to fit in this big spectrum. One is there's content so easily available. So there's a new artist, I personally feel like, coming out every day. And a lot of them are great and a lot of them are dope. But I also feel like representation is really huge for me. That's like one of my mission statements, is like to inspire a kid to feel like they can make it because I represent them. So one of the challenges I think in that is always reminding yourself of that, because it's easy to want to be more sexy or want to have more swag or like want to be in these more spaces that are like obvious. You know what I mean? When you think of a black male, and growing up, for me, one of the first black males that I saw that was like kind of like me was Pharrell. And that's why he's like, I look up to him as far as style and fashion and energy. But a lot of that just came from him maybe not wearing a do-rag or baggy clothes, because I felt like that didn't represent me. So I think some of the challenges as I learn about myself in this music industry is, one, is getting that across to my fans and to my team of like, how can I evolve but stay true to my core? Which my core is always to be a representation of that suburban kid who has black and white and Asian and Christian and Muslim and gay. And like, that's just how I grew up. I just always have had friends of all shapes and size. You know what I mean? Like, I won prom king in high school, not because I was like the coolest. It just was, I just want to be a person that's always listening and always available for just other people's story. So as an artist, that's important to me as well. I want my music to be for everyone. So that being said, being in spaces and festivals that are predominantly, let's just say, more mainstream audience, and you do R&B, could be difficult because sometimes you're definitely their introduction to things that they've never heard of, you know? So if I remember I played a song, I used to play a cover of Lauryn Hill, and there was a point where like a lot of these young kids had no idea of the song that I was covering, and we had to take it out of the set. And so for me, some of those challenges are there's music that's always coming out, and these kids have their heroes and the artists that they look up to. So for me, as a black artist in these mainstream spaces, it's like, how can I maybe cover a song that they're familiar with and bring soul to it and bring R&B? But also I think not appropriating yourself too much. I think it's great as an artist to be well-rounded and, you know, speak intelligent and articulate yourself where people can understand what you're saying. But I also am like, be true to yourself. You know, I have homies that are like from South Carolina, and when they step in an interview, they have that dope accent. Like, that's them, you know what I mean? Where I'm from, everybody in South Jersey talks like this, you know, like, you know, so for me, I'm always trying to explain that to the music industry, that like, I, as an R&B singer, am passionate about R&B and soul because my spirit connects with that. But that doesn't mean that it's a black thing or a white thing or an Asian thing. It just means like I vibe with that. So then if there's a soulful white kids, there's some white kids I know that sing way better. Their albums are fantastic. They can do fantastic runs. And my job, whether I'm in the crowd, is to be inspired by the soul that they have and not necessarily by maybe the outside of their skin. So the same way I want to respect them in that, I have to respect myself in that and not attach my looks or colors to what I'm bringing to these festivals or what I'm bringing to these mainstream spaces. Because a lot of the music placements that I've gotten are very commercial. And even growing up in gospel music and playing that on mainstream stages, it's not a gospel song, but it has like a gospel energy, sometimes can be difficult because people have opposition to like, oh, he is a gospel artist. It's like, no, not at all. I'm not a gospel artist. But the thing that I love about that kind of music is it should be inviting, and no matter where you come from, you should be inspired by it. And so that's what I just try to do, is just pull people into those spaces of like, you are welcomed here. Just like you're welcoming me to this space. Like, you are welcomed into my space. You may never had a black auntie that can play the organ, but my keyboard player is gonna play it. We're gonna do soul claps, and I'm gonna teach you a soul clap. At the end of the day, if you leave the show and you don't remember my name, you'll remember that I taught you how to do a soul clap. You know what I mean? So I just try to do like basic things like that.